Hello everybody, my name is Brandon. Welcome back to the channel. I am here today with part 2 of my 2-part June 2020 media pickup video. So definitely check back to yesterday's video where I talked about all of my 4K, all of the video games, and all of the pop figures I grabbed. And today I'm going to talk about all of the DVDs and the Blu-rays that I picked up last month. So just like with the last video, there is a huge stack sitting next to me. Also, I will mention, if you're interested in what books I grabbed, check out my 2-part book haul. Part 1 should be on my media tie-in novels, and part 2 is on all of the other books I grabbed. So lots of things. This is haul week here on Cinefessions, so hopefully you guys enjoy it. This will allow me to move on to other things throughout the rest of the month instead of kind of having these linger as long as they did in the month of June. So hopefully you guys like this way of doing it. All right, so with all of that said, let's dive right in. The very first thing I want to touch on is the Vinegar Syndrome halfway to Black Friday sale. So if you're following the channel, you may have seen my halfway to Black Friday unboxing video that I did where I opened up this box and talked about everything that I grabbed. So definitely check that out to have more of, in depth. At least I talk a little bit longer about each title. I'm going to breeze through these just for completion's sake. So I grabbed Hellmaster, which is shot in Detroit and has this incredible slipcover. It's amazing. Tammy and the T-Rex, because my buddy talked me into it. Hell Comes to Frogtown. Rowdy Piper, What's Not to Love? And then the double feature of Murder Weapon and Deadly Embrace. And this is a Linnea Quigley double feature, so I'm sure that one's going to be a lot of fun when I get to it. But the big thing that I grabbed, the item that was just had me so thrilled when I opened it, is the Amityville collection here. So this is Amityville, the Cursed Collection, which has Evil Escapes, 1992, It's About Time, Amityville, A New Generation, and Amityville Dollhouse. So definitely check out my unboxing video so you can kind of hear me talk more about why I purchased all of these. But yes, very thrilled with my Vinegar Syndrome halfway to Black Friday sale pickups. I will mention that Severin Films, actually the past 2 days that I'm filming this, did not have such a great sale. They had their, mid-year sale or whatever it is, and it was just an absolute mess. I feel so bad for those guys because I'm sure they didn't want it to go down the way it did, and they've actually resorted to emailing in orders now, which is just, I can't even imagine. So unfortunately, they did not get my money this time around, but that's okay, because July, of course, is the Barnes & Noble Criterion sale, which I'm going to go a little bit crazy again. All right, so let's talk about some things I found at the Dollar Tree. So these were all for $1. And frankly, there's not too terribly much that I'm really excited about here, but I was at the dollar store and I found movies, so of course I'm going to grab some. So first up, probably the coolest one is Roger Corman's Death Race 2050. So this, I believe, is a sequel to the original Death Race that came out back in, I would assume, the 60s or the 70s. I don't know exactly when. Never seen it, but this sequel I now own for $1. It's either a sequel or a reboot. I guess I don't know, but whatever. We'll find out when I actually get to it. This one is just ridiculous. It is, there's a sticker on here so you can't really see what it is. So can I get that off quickly? Yes, I can. So we have Croczilla with 7 bonus movies. So you can see on the back here we have Croczilla, Attack of the Giant Leeches, Phantom from 10,000 Leagues, Giant Gila Monster. So this is an Echo Bridge Entertainment release. And so you get a lot of, cheap, probably very bad movies, but you get a ton on one set for $1. Okay, I'm going to grab it. So Croczilla with 7 bonus movies. So 8 movies for $1. So I'll go a little bit quicker through these Dollar Tree ones because I don't really care too much about them. I just grabbed them because they were there. So first up is Dark Was the Night. This is Timothy Olyphant and Marissa Tomei. So, it's probably not going to be that bad, and it looks like a decent thriller, so I picked that one up. And then they had a documentary called Startup.com, which I don't know anything about it, but it looks pretty decent. I love documentaries, and this is from the creator of The War Room, which I've heard really good things about that as well, so I figured I'd grab this one. And then we have a 8-movie set, so another 8 movies for $1. This is the Shadows collection. So we have Backwoods, Feeding Grounds, Netherworld, Blood Predator, The Ghost Walks, The Black Raven, and Gothic, all on the back there. So again, all probably very bad movies, but that's okay. It's all another Echo Bridge release. So 8 movies for $1. Come on. This takes that 8 movies and adds 2, so you actually get 10 movies. So you have a double set here. So we have Poseidon Adventure and Blackbeard. on one side, and then the other side is Westerns. So I don't really know why these are grouped together. They don't really feel like they'd be the same target audience, but whatever. I'm not going to complain. If you met Sartana, pray for your death. That's like the big feature on this Westerns set. I've been wanting to get more into Westerns. I don't know that this is necessarily the way to do that. And I just realized it has a Kmart sticker on it. Jeez Louise. I don't even think they have Kmart around here anymore. That's interesting. Anyway, I've been wanting to get into Westerns. I don't know if this is the way to do that, but it is at least a way to add a bunch to my collection for very, very cheap. So 10 movies for $1. They also had some Blu-rays, so of course I'm going to grab them because they're Blu-rays. First up, this actually looks pretty funny. This is Frank, which is about this this band who the lead singer he puts on this plastic head and he just refuses to take it off. So I don't know. It looks interesting. I have heard of this one previously, so we'll see if I like it at all. This is a double feature that I don't know anything about, but it has some names on it that I recognize, so like Warren Beatty, Vivian Lee. So we'll see. This is a 2-pack of Lilith and Ship of Fools, which maybe these are very famous movies. I just don't know them. I think Ship of Fools is actually or one of these movies was nominated for an Academy Award. Yeah. Ship of Fools won Academy Award for art direction and cinematography. So I'm sure these will actually be pretty decent. They're, older films, so we'll see how I like them. I can't find the year right offhand, but we'll see how these ones are. So Lilith and Ship of Fools. And again, this was a Blu-ray for $1. And last but not least, in reality, this is really the only film I actually should have picked up from Dollar Tree because it's the only one that I actually am interested in. And this is Life Itself. So this is the documentary about Roger Ebert, of course, one of the most famous film critics of all time, and someone that I've always enjoyed reading. This is his life story, his documentary. So I really want to check this one out. Again, this is probably the only one I probably really should have picked up from Dollar Tree because I actually want to watch this one. So Life Itself for $1. One big thing I was focusing on in the month of June, at least the latter part of June, was actually filling in some gaps in the collections behind me. So I have, you'll see here, Paranormal Activity. I have all up to the marked ones, but I don't have the Ghost Dimension. So what I wanted to try to do when I was at Disc Replay was try to fill in some of those gaps. So this next stack here is going to be all films that I got secondhand thanks to Disc Replay. And I didn't mention it in the last video, but actually I did some trades into Disc Replay. So that's how I was able to pick up so many movies this month because I had some extra, money to do that thanks to some trades. So so these next stack, like I said, this next stack is from Disc Replay. First was one that I was actually surprised to see there, but very happy now that I have it in my collection. And this is the Toho Godzilla collection of Godzilla 2000. So I recently, as literally 2 days ago or yesterday, I realized that I own all, thanks to now having this one, I own all but 3 movies in the Godzilla franchise on Blu-ray in my collection. So I have those 3 in my cart on Amazon, and I'll probably end up picking them up in the month of July, just because I really want to collect all of them, because then I have them. I'm only 3 away. Why not finish it up at this point? So this was another one that I needed, and I didn't even know that I needed I didn't know I was that close to wrapping up the collection when I grabbed this one. I just knew I didn't have it, and I had a lot of these other Toho collection ones, so I wanted to pick it up. So Godzilla 2000. This is another one where I grabbed simply to complete the collection. I own Despicable Me 1 and 2, and I own Minions on Blu-ray, so I wanted to grab Despicable Me 3. Admittedly, this is my least favorite of this franchise, but it was super cheap, and so I wanted to complete the collection. So Despicable Me 3. These next 2 are movies that I've been wanting to rewatch for quite some time now, and I only owned the DVD. I think I bought them from a thrift store, a handful of years ago, and I didn't want to watch them on DVD. I wanted to grab the Blu-rays if I could find them, and lo and behold, they had both of them. So we have Lara Croft Tomb Raider and Lara Croft Tomb Raider Cradle of Life. So I watched both of these when they were in theaters, and I really enjoyed them. I want to give these ones another shot and see if they still hold up, if I still enjoy them as much as I did the first time around. So grab these ones for super cheap. So Lara Croft Tomb Raider and the sequel, Cradle of Life. Next up is a triple feature that I'm really happy that I have in my collection, even though I know most people will think I'm an idiot for owning it. But we have 300, we have Troy and Alexander. So 300 is an awesome film. I've always loved it every time I've watched it. Troy, I remember watching that and enjoying it. And Alexander, I remember liking that as well. Alexander specifically, I remember distinctly watching that when it was in theaters and having people, it's the only movie I ever remember people walking out of because they were so bored by it. But I liked it. I liked it quite a bit. So I've always wanted to revisit it. no pun intended. I've always wanted to watch it again to see if it holds up to what I remember it being. So I grabbed this one for $5. I got all 3 movies, so it was definitely worth it for me at least. So Troy, Alexander, and 300 triple feature. This is actually a movie I've been wanting to see since it came out, but I forgot it existed until I saw it on the shelves at Disc Replay, and that is Winchester. So this is a horror film starring Helen Mirren, which that's enough. Like, that enough should have sold you on the movie. But this is about the Winchester Mystery House, which is an actual house, a supposedly haunted house in, I believe it's somewhere near San Jose in California. I remember going there when I was much younger because I have family that lives in California. And we went to the Winchester Mystery House, and I loved it. And so when I heard this movie was coming out, I had to see it. But of course, I didn't go to the theater because I never do. So I wanted to check it out once it hit Blu-ray, but I forgot about it. So I grabbed this one for $5 on Blu-ray. Super excited to finally get to watch this one. So Winchester, and this I believe came out in like 2018, I think, in the beginning of 2018. Yeah. Here's another example of tidying up some series. We have Insidious: The Last Key. I love the Insidious series. Number 1, I actually didn't like the first time I saw it. It took a rewatch for me to fall in love with it, and I don't know what I was thinking the first time because I loved it on rewatch. Every rewatch since, I've absolutely loved it. Insidious 2 I really liked, and Insidious 3 scared the hell out of me. Liked that movie a hell of a lot. So I have to finish up the series with Insidious: The Last Key. So now I own this entire franchise, and I need to watch through it all again because it's enjoyable. Next up is Star Trek Beyond, again, finishing up a series. I own the other 2 Star Trek reboots on Blu-ray, so I had to grab this one. And this one was surprisingly difficult to find at Disc Replay. I went to 3 different Disc Replays and didn't find it. It wasn't until I went back to one that they actually had one in stock at that point, so I was able to grab it. But yeah, so I don't know why this one was more difficult to find, but I was able to get it for $5, so I'm happy about that. So Star Trek Beyond will complete my Star Trek reboot series collection. And the last one I grabbed from Disc Replay is another one that completes a series, and that's actually a series that I talked about last month because I grabbed all of the films except this one. But now I found it and I own it. It is The First Purge, which is, of course, the last Purge film, at least so far. So I now own all 4 movies of the Purge franchise, and this is the only one I haven't seen. I really enjoy the rest of it, so we'll see if I like this one. So The First Purge, A Nation Reborn, completes my Purge series. Sticking with that theme of movies I needed to purchase in order to complete a collection, we have Paranormal Activity: The Ghost Dimension. And you'll see this is actually the 3D version of this, which just blew my mind. I found this new on Amazon for $10. I thought for sure it was going to come like without the 3D or something was going to be weird about it because it was so cheap. But you know what? I'm going to open it up actually because I haven't opened it. So I'm going to open it up and see if it actually comes with everything. I actually started it. And we'll see if it actually comes with everything it was supposed to, if it is legitimately new or not. So, opening it up here. Let's take out the digital code. Yeah. Blu-ray 3D, Blu-ray, and the DVD, it looks like. So, yeah, that's legit. I'm very happy about that. I genuinely thought something was going to be weird with it just because of the fact that it was so cheap. But it's not. Looks good. So Paranormal Activity: The Ghost Dimension 3D will complete my Paranormal Activity series. This one here was really an impulse buy. It popped up as a deal of the day for, I think it was $15 on Amazon. And I own so it's The Invisible Man, the Legacy Collection on Blu-ray. I own the Wolfman Legacy Collection on Blu-ray, and I own Frankenstein Legacy Collection. That one I own on DVD. Either way, though, I now own Invisible Man, the Legacy Collection. So, excuse me. So this includes all six of the films from the Invisible Man franchise, which I really like the original. I've not seen any of the others, but I think the original is awesome. And so I'm super happy to have this on Blu-ray. I think I owned the original on the Monsters set, whatever it's called, the Universal Monsters set, which is above me. You can't see it, but and that's how I watched it originally, I believe. But yeah, Invisible Man is awesome from 1933, Returns from 40, Invisible Woman from 40, Invisible Agent from 42, Invisible Man's Revenge from 44, and then Abbott and Costello meet the Invisible Man from 1951. So this should be a heck of a lot of fun to go through once I open this one up and check them out. I have 3 more movies to talk about, and then I'm going to jump over to my TV series. So first up is another series that I'm trying to collect. I need a few more of these before I have the full thing, but I found this at the store actually today, the day I'm filming this. I found it for $5 on Blu-ray. It's Annabelle Creation. So I think this is the second film in the Annabelle series. I really like the first one. I think I've watched this one. I don't know how I watched it. Maybe it was streaming somewhere, but I think I watched this one and really liked it even more than the first one. Yeah. Now that I'm actually looking at the pictures on the back, I totally remember this one. And this one's actually very good. I think it's better, like I said, better than the original. But now I own it on Blu-ray, so I can watch it anytime I want. So, Annabelle Creation. I recently came across something on Reddit called Boutique Blu-rays, and that is a group that you can follow that, it's people talking about boutique label Blu-rays. And so I found there that people were talking about their finds from Walmart because they have a lot of the Scream Factory titles that are going out of print, and they're relatively cheap there. So that's why I decided to pick up some of my essentials from Walmart today instead of, where I normally go, Kroger or wherever it is. So that's where I grabbed Annabelle from, and then I grabbed these two. And I was so happy to find these. So first up is a John Carpenter film, which I realize I have the stickers on these still, which just bugs me. So let me grab that real quick. But it's the John Carpenter Scream Factory Collector's Edition of Starman. So this is a John Carpenter film that I have actually not seen. So I don't know much about it, but I know it's supposed to be like a romance sci-fi thing. So we'll see if I enjoy it or not. But I love Carpenter, and of course it's a Scream Factory Collector's Edition for this was $12.96. So I grabbed it. And then the other one I found while I was there was a Stephen King film, which this one I have to be a little bit slower with because it's on cardboard. It's on a slipcase instead of the plastic wrap. But we have Firestarter. So again, the Scream Factory Collector's Edition of Firestarter. Now, I can't say for certain that these are 2 that are going out of print this year because I don't remember. I know Candyman is one of those. I grabbed that a couple months ago, but I can't say 100% that these 2 are. So if you know, let me know down in the comments below. But either way, $12.96 for Scream Factory Collector's Editions to add to my collection. You bet I'm going to do that. So Firestarter and Starman are newest additions to my Scream Factory collection. All right, so just a handful to go, and the rest are going to be all TV series. So at Disc Replay, back to Disc Replay again, I actually stumbled upon these 2. They were in the wrong section even. I just happened to come across them, and they were $15 each, so I had to grab them. I own Season 1 and Season 2, and now I own Star Wars The Clone Wars Season 3 and Season 4. So there are 6 seasons to this, and I would love to have the entire set. I believe one of these Blu-ray sets are very difficult to come by, and I don't remember if it was 5 or Season 6, but let me know down in the comments, again, if you know which one is very hard to find, because I will definitely keep an eye out for that. But yeah, so now I have 4 of the 6 seasons of Star Wars The Clone Wars. This is one I have Disney Plus, of course, so I could watch it on there, but who knows how long that'll be around? Who knows how long I'll be a subscriber? This I can have forever if I choose. So we'll go with Season 3 and Season 4 of Star Wars The Clone Wars. Next up is actually part of a franchise that I mentioned in part 1 of my June pickups, and that is Lost. So I have owned for the longest time seasons 3, 4, 5, and 6 on Blu-ray. I think I picked up 3 and 4 used because I wanted to see them, and then I picked up 5 and 6 new because I was just watching the series at that point and loved it, so I grabbed those as they came out. But 1 and 2, I think I owned them on DVD, or I was renting them from Blockbuster at the time. I don't know what it was, but either way, I wasn't owning them on Blu-ray. And so finally, after all these years, I now own Season 1 and Season 2 of Lost. And I was actually very surprised. I think Season 1 was like $12 and Season 2 was $14. So these are a little bit more expensive online. So I was very lucky to find them at, again, Disc Replay. But yeah, so Lost Season 1 and Season 2. I now own the complete series of Lost, and as I mentioned previously, this is one of my favorite series of all time. It's one of my wife's favorite series of all time, so we're very happy that we don't have to rely on a streaming service because it goes on, it comes off all the time with Lost on different services. So now we have them all on Blu-ray. So very happy to have Lost Season 1 and Season 2, which will wrap up the entire series of Lost for me. And last but not least, this is another Disc Replay find that it was very serendipitous because let me show you the tweet that I sent out like a day or 2 before I actually found this. And I wasn't lying. So I grabbed King of Queens, the complete series. So fortunately, like I said, I found this at Disc Replay. The Blu-ray for this is like $105 or $110, which is just too much. The DVD was like $50 on Amazon, I think $40 on the, I forget which website it was, but it was $40 on sale, but they were out of stock. So I grabbed this one from Disc Replay for $30. And again, I had credit, so I didn't actually pay $30 out of pocket for it. But either way, it was marked at $30. And it is the complete series of one of the best sitcoms ever, The King of Queens. It literally, like that, I wasn't lying with that tweet. Like, it literally took me 5 minutes of rewatching an episode to remember how much I love the show. I love Kevin James. I love Leah Remini. Of course, Jerry Stiller is just one of the best, you know, rest in peace. It is just such a fantastic series, and I'm so happy that I own it, the entire thing, because I've wanted to own this for so long. So, King of Queens, complete series. I believe there are 8 seasons of this, and you can see, let me just show you how these come, because it's not the best, I'll be honest with you, but they're all in these like slips like this, which is kind of wonky. But, you know, that's Mill Creek circa this time. And the reason it's like that is to keep the cost down, right? So nothing really against Mill Creek at all. I do know that they do a lot of better packaging now for their movies than they did back then, but I still don't have much of a problem with it. I know a lot of people will, but I'm not one of those people. So this is a 22 disc set with 207 episodes from, it's 9 seasons, not 8, excuse me. So King of Queens, the complete series. Oh, I'm happy to have this one. All right, and that is that. I'm not going to try to pick them all up because there's just too many, but that is part 2 of my June 2020 media pickup. So part 1 was all of my 4K, my video games, and my pop figures, and part 2, all of my Blu-rays and my DVDs. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed both parts of my June pickup videos. Please let me know down in the comments below, what did you pick up last month? Anything that's worth talking about? I'd love to have more of a conversation with you guys down in the comments section below. And also, where do you want me to start? Is there something you'd like to have me review here on the channel? Please let me know that down in the comments as well. As always, if you guys enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to Cinefessions here on YouTube. And if not, thank you anyway for watching. I really do appreciate it. All right, guys, so that's going to do it for today. I just want to say thank you all so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.